Hello students, in this class we are going to see about an overview of research methodology, its types and methods, systematic investigation process, academic research importance, foundation of research studies. Before we understand research methods, we must understand what research methodology means. Research methodology refers to the overall approach a researcher follows to conduct a study. It explains how research is planned, which methods are used, and why those methods are suitable. It provides a systematic and scientific way of conducting research so that the results are reliable and valid. Without proper methodology, research becomes unsystematic and meaningless. Therefore, methodology acts as a backbone of any research work. Classification of research methods. Research methods are classified based on the nature and purpose of the study. Different subjects require different methods. For example, literature studies use different methods compared to science or social sciences, which can be either theoretical or practical. Classification helps researchers choose the most appropriate method for their research problem. Broadly, methods can be qualitative, quantitative, descriptive, analytical, experimental, and historical. Choosing the correct method ensures accuracy and clarity in research findings. Qualitative research method. Qualitative research focuses on understanding meanings, ideas, and experiences rather than numbers. It is commonly used in humanities and social sciences. This method involves tools like interviews, observations, and textual analysis, and this type of research is based on non-numerical data. For example, when we analyze characters, themes, or emotions in a novel, we use qualitative methods. The aim is not measurement but interpretation. It helps us to understand how and why people think or behave in a certain way. Here, the researcher can study how women characters are portrayed in selected novels of Anita Desai. The main method used is textual analysis, where themes, character development, and emotional depth are closely examined. In addition, interviews with readers are conducted to understand their interpretations and responses. Since the data is descriptive and interpretative in nature, this study clearly follows the qualitative research method. Quantitative research method. Quantitative research deals with numerical data and measurable variables. It uses structured tools such as questionnaires, surveys, and experiments. The collected data is analyzed using statistical techniques. This method focuses on objectivity and accuracy. For example, when we study student performance using marks or percentages, we follow quantitative research. It helps in drawing general conclusions based on numerical evidence. So these scores then analyzed using the tools, and the focus here is on the accuracy and objectivity. Since the results are expressed in numbers and percentages, this study follows a quantitative approach. Next comes descriptive research method. Descriptive research aims to describe the existing conditions of a situation or a population. It does not involve manipulation of variables. The researcher only observes and records information. This method answers questions like what is happening or what exists. For example, studying the reading habits of college students using questionnaires is descriptive research. It helps in understanding current trend and patterns. So, this study helps in understanding the trends among undergraduate students. It simply describes what is happening around them. Next is analytical research method. Analytical research involves critical examination of existing data or information. Instead of collecting new data, the researcher analyzes already available material such as reports, records, or text. This method is useful for theoretical studies. For example, analyzing existing government data to study economic growth in analytical approach. It helps in drawing logical conclusions from the known facts. Thus, facts are interpreted carefully to draw the conclusions. This method is commonly used in theoretical and policy-related studies. Next is exploratory research method. Exploratory research is used when a research problem is new or not clearly defined. The main aim is to explore the topic and gain initial understanding. This method is flexible in nature. Interviews, literature review and discussions are commonly used. For example, studying the impact of social media on youth behavior at a preliminary level is exploratory research. It helps in framing research questions for future studies. Next is experimental research method. Experimental research studies causes and effects and inner relationships. In this method, variables are deliberately controlled and manipulated. The researcher usually divides subjects into control and experimental groups. For example, testing a new teaching method by applying it to one group and comparing it with another group is experimental research. This method is common in science, psychology, and education. Since a study follows a cause and effect approach under controlled conditions, it is clearly applicable for an experimental method of research. Next is historical research method. Historical research studies past events and developments. It relies on historical documents, manuscripts, letters, records, and archives. The aim is to understand how past events influence the present. For example, studying the Indian freedom movement using historical records is historical research. This method helps in understanding cultural, political, and social changes over time. It is commonly used in history and literature studies. Okay. Next is survey research method. This research collects data from a large group of people. It uses tools like questionnaires and structured interviews. This method is widely used in social sciences. For example, conducting a survey to understand students' opinion about online classes is a survey research. It helps in centralizing findings and understanding public attitudes. And the collected data helps to find a solution for the problem, and this method is time saving and cost effective. It is widely used in social science research. Next is case study method. A case study is an in-depth study of a single individual, institution or situation. It focuses on detailed analysis rather than generalization. Multiple sources of data are used, such as interviews, documents, and observations. For example, studying one school to understand the impact of digital learning is a case study. So, this method provides deep insight into a specific issue. It is useful for understanding the complex issues. Next, we are moving to comparative research method. So, comparative research involves comparing two or more subjects, text or phenomena. The aim is to identify similarities and differences. This method is common in literature and culture studies. For example, comparing nature themes in the works of Ruskin Bond and Amitav Ghosh is a comparative research. It helps in critical thinking and deeper analysis. It is one of the most effective method of research. Next, we are moving to primary research methods. So, this type of research involves collecting original data directly from sources. The researcher personally gathers information through interviews, surveys, or observations. This method provides first-hand and authentic data. For example, interviewing rural women about self-help groups is a primary research. Though time consuming, it is highly reliable. Next comes secondary research method. So this research uses already existing data. Sources include books, journals, newspapers, reports, and online databases. This method saves time and cost. It is useful for background study and literature review. For example, studying climate change using published research articles is a secondary research. It supports and strengthens the primary research. It is mainly used for background study and literature review also. Next we come to the how to select any of the research method which is peculiar or which is suitable for our research. The selection of research method depends on the research objectives, nature of the study, availability of data, and time constraints. A suitable method ensures valid and reliable results. Choosing the wrong method may lead to inaccurate conclusions. Therefore, a researcher must carefully select the appropriate method based on the research problem. To conclude, research methodology plays a vital role in any academic study. It provides a structured and scientific approach to research. Since research problems differ, various research methods are used depending on the nature and objective of a particular study. Selecting the correct research method helps in collecting reliable data and analyzing it effectively. Ultimately, a well-chosen methodology ensures meaningful and valid research outcomes. Yes, hope this class has given you some important points or an overview of the research methodology, and we'll meet you and I'll meet you again in a further study. Thank you.